Welcome to the Beyond You podcast, where we have real conversations about healing, trusting yourself again, and building the kind of relationships that actually feel good. I'm Samantha, and if you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, like you're doing all the right things but still feeling disconnected, you're in the right place. Because here we go beyond the surface, beyond the hurt, beyond the patterns that keep you stuck. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Welcome to the Beyond You podcast. I'm just so excited the fact that you are here. We're in this together, so I'm really excited that you're here. But hey, it's Samantha. Come sit with me. If I need to say something, that might ruffle some feathers. But, it wouldn't be me if I didn't. And I'm just going to be able to say it anyway, right? We don't understand that the soft life you've been curating on your vision board, if it doesn't have boundaries holding it up underneath, it's not a soft life. It's burnout and a silk robe pretending to be rest. I know I said what I said though, right? Because I don't think we understand how important boundaries is. And I know I've been talking a lot on my channel and different things that have been coming up. And we've all seen it, right? The aesthetic. Slow mornings, bouquets of flowers on a clean white countertop, journaling with an oat milk latte, just reading by the window, the whole vibe. I love it. I'm here for it, genuinely. There's nothing wrong with wanting beauty and ease in your life. But here's what that aesthetic doesn't show you. The woman in this silk robe who still can't say no to her boss, or who still answers her mother's calls even when she's depleted, who is still bending herself in half for a man who isn't choosing her. She looks soft on the outside and is completely running on fumes on the inside. I see this happen time and time again within sessions we talk about over my Moving Beyond You team, are full of therapists there. That's not soft life. That's aesthetic survival. And for just Black and brown women, I just like to make sure that you guys understand this too, especially for professionals of color who are already carrying more than a lot. This matters even more because we are the ones most likely to turn survival into a brand and call it soft. Real soft life has a foundation, and that foundation is boundaries. I really want us to really take this in. So before we dive in, if these conversations give you the truth, really hit you, make sure to hit subscribe. You're a part of this community and this family, and I want you here. So I want you to just carry along with this tenderness and hit subscribe right now. We're dropping new episodes every week, and you don't want to miss what's coming. So let's get into this. So I like to be able to hear from you all. I know you guys been really loving my TikToks over there and Moving Beyond You. So I'm excited to see all your comments and agreeing with me. But does your soft life have actual boundaries holding it up? Or is it mostly just a vibe, right? And be honest, I'm not judging. I'm just asking because it matters. And we need to be able to talk about it. So what I want to be able to start with is the Instagram soft life versus actual soft nervous system. Because I need you to be able to understand the difference. And I know Instagram has all these pretty pictures, but I want to start with kind of really understanding the distinction that nobody's not making really clear enough. The aesthetic versus the actual. Instagram soft life, it feels like such a vibe, doesn't it? It's a visual. It's the candle. It's what you see. It's the clean space, the slow morning, the no hustle culture caption. But an actual soft nervous system is what you feel. It's your body not being a constant state of threat. It's your mind not running through everything you have to do while you're trying to rest. It's being in a moment without calculating how to survive through the next one. And I hope you just really take this in, because here's the real question. can you actually relax, or are you performing relaxation? Because there's a massive difference between lying in a bubble bath scrolling your phone while your mind is running through tomorrow's to-do list and actually being present enough to feel the warmth of the water. Really allowing yourself to be present. So, as you see, one is aesthetic and the other is an actual regulated nervous system. And you cannot access that second one without boundaries. And I remember, as I think about it, like a season in my own life where my soft life routine was immaculate. And I tell you, candles, a playlist, skincare, journaling. On paper, it looked like peace. And I tell you, it did. But if you had dropped in on my nervous system, I was still checking my email on my phone, replaying sessions in my head, worrying about family, and thinking about a relationship that just wasn't nourishing me. It was so much going through my mind, and I wasn't actually resting. I was cosplaying rest. And that's the difference there between a vibe and a regulated body. In that gap, boundaries. Boundaries are designed to fill it. Now, here's what's specific to us that needs to be named loud. We're trying to build soft lives on top of systems that are still pulling at us from every direction. Let me give you examples. So your boss who emails at 9 p.m. and expects a response, or your mother who calls 4 times in a row when you don't pick up, your partner who needs emotional labor you don't have left to give. It sometimes even comes down to our community, your community that needs you to show up even when you're empty. And if you're a professional of color, so I like to go to point these things out, you're doing all of this while navigating racism respectfully, politics, especially during this time period, and the pressure to prove yourself a lot of times a lot more than our counterparts, and not getting the recognition that we really need. Or we just deserve, not even need, we just deserve. So you can light every candle in your house and still feel your chest tight because your phone is about to ring with someone else's crisis. I don't think we really allow us to pay attention when that happens. Understand that it's not a vibe problem. That's a boundary problem. And no amount of aesthetics will fix it. So the self-care industrial complex, a lot of times it's sold us products and aesthetics as a solution to the burnout. You know, things like treat yourself as the answer to chronic depletion. And we don't realize the truth though, right? You cannot buy your way into soft nervous system. That bath bomb doesn't help if you're still saying yes when you mean no. That silk pillowcase doesn't restore you if you're still available to everyone at every hour. The journal doesn't heal if you're still not protecting the time to sit with it. Softness isn't something you consume. It's something you protect. And protection requires boundaries. So tell me if you are someone that notices this. Like, have you ever fully been in your self-care routine but still felt exhausted? That's the gap that we're talking about. So let's go into just why boundaries are just the structure of soft life. Because I think we tap into to really understand, because I wanted to be able to reframe something that trips a lot of people up, right? Boundaries feel hard. I tell you, I get it. We assume that they're opposite of soft. They're not. Think of it this way. A garden, let's use that. Something soft, beautiful, living needs structure around it to thrive. if you have a garden without a fence, without boundaries around it, everything just walks through it, takes from it, destroys what's growing. The boundary isn't what makes it harsh. The boundary is what makes the softness possible. The same thing when it comes to your own life. You cannot have genuinely soft, rested, peaceful life if there's nothing holding back what drains it. Boundaries are the structure that makes soft life sustainable, not a contradiction of it. So, without boundaries, soft life becomes a couple different things. A weekend reset that gets completely undone by Monday morning. A vacation that you spent half of your work emails. A self-care Sunday that feels guilty because you should be doing something else. A rest that never actually reaches your nervous system. And you know why? Because your body doesn't believe it's safe to fully let go. So, no, you can't rest inside a life that has no walls around it. You just keep getting depleted. And trying to just refill yourself with aesthetics will not hold you. It's not sustainable. So, instead of thinking of boundaries as the hard, uncomfortable thing that contradicts your soft life goals, I want you to start thinking of them as the most loving, soft thing you can do for yourself. Understand that when saying no to the meeting at 7 p.m., I'm soft. Not answering the phone on Sunday, soft. Telling him what you actually need instead of performing being fine, soft. And I know that requires vulnerability, but I want you to know that having that boundary around it is what's going to really actually help you to be fully yourself. Because softness toward yourself first, then the candles, then the roll, but in that order. So let me give you 3 soft life rules. If it drains you weekly, it needs a boundary. If it only feels soft to Instagram, it's probably not soft on your body. Hope you're writing these ones down. And if you have to abandon yourself to keep it, it's not soft life, it's survival. Those 3 will tell you really quickly whether what you're building is real softness or just pretty burnout. So let's talk about real examples and scripts just for work. Let's start with that, because I want to be able to give you real practical tools. So the domains I'm going to be focused on here is work, family, dating, and relationships. So kind of put those into one. So real examples, real scripts, these are what I call hard but soft, meaning they're firm, but they're not cruel. They just hold the boundary without burning the relationship. And I talk about this all in my sessions, and I kind of teach the other therapists I work with as well this thing, so you guys can know these things. But let's start with work. Here's what soft life without work boundaries actually looks like. So you leave the office, but you don't leave work. Slack notifications at 8 p.m., emails before your feet hit the floor in the morning, those quick calls that eat into your lunch, overtime that was never asked for, just expected, only because you just said yes once and now it's assumed, right? Like some people get an inch and they take a mile. And if you're the only Black woman or one of few in that environment, saying no doesn't just feel like pushing back. It can feel like risking. So I want to keep in mind that I understand that I feel like risking reputation, your job, or being seen as difficult a lot of the times. When we know that's not the case. So that's not just hustle culture failing you. That's the absence of a boundary, just creating a vacuum that people will naturally fill. So, hard but soft script number one, setting response time expectations. Okay. So you can say something like, I want to make sure I give you your message the attention it deserves. My practice is to respond to non-urgent messages within 24 to 48 business hours. For anything urgent, here's the best way to flag that. Okay. So we can have these kind of auto responses for this. So a hard but soft script number two, protecting your capacity. It's really important. And that capacity with my current projects right now, let's talk about what could shift to make space for this, or look at the timeline that works better. Like seeing how we're acknowledging that your capacity, you're acknowledging what it works for you, but seeing on what would work better, so just really get to figure everything out at once. Okay, let's get into hard but soft script number three, protecting your actual end of day. This here this time and time again in the professionals. I have a hard stop whatever time today. Let's make sure we cover the priority items first. None of these are rude, none of these are dramatic, but all these create structure that your soft nervous system can actually rest inside. So I want you to be able to ask yourself, where are you leaking time and energy at work? Because there's no boundary, just vibes a lot of the time. So now we're going to get into real examples and scripts when it comes to family, because I know this has been a big one as well when it comes to these relationships. So this is the hardest one for many of us, because in Black and brown families, the boundary conversation doesn't just feel like I need space. It feels like betrayal for a lot of, I see this so many times, for a lot of people. So here's what soft life without family boundaries looks like. I love to kind of give you that first. The guilt trips that pull you back in every time you try to create some distance. The mother who calls it disrespect when you don't answer on the first ring. The family events you show up depleted because you've never learned how to say, not this time. Or the emotional labor of being the family therapist a lot of the time, the problem solver, the one who holds it together. So I said all of this. You cannot be soft inside your own life while being the emotional, having that emotional infrastructure of an entire family system. Like, it's a lot. That is a lot. I just want to make space for understand. Like, I definitely hear and understand. So here are some hard but soft scripts for creating space without explaining. You could say something like, I love you and I need some time to take care of myself this weekend. I'll connect with you next week. Right? We're not acknowledging, we're just making sure we honor ourselves first. It's no further explanation with that, no dissertation. That's just a complete sentence. Like, that is it. Right? And I think when you start, we talk about different episodes, like being our helliest moments. So it's hard but soft script number two, addressing guilt trips directly. I can hear that you're hurt. And I also need to be honest that this boundary isn't going to change. I'm not choosing against you. I'm choosing what I need right now. Hard but soft script number three, limiting emotional labor. A lot of times we don't allow ourselves to limit that. So here's what you could say. I care about what you're going through, and I'm not in a space to hold this conversation well right now. Can we talk when I have more capacity to be really present for you? These are things that you can be able to use to help when these common situations that I find that comes up in our practice. So the last one is key because it actually honors the relationship while protecting yourself. You're not shutting them out. It's not that. You're allowing yourself to create conditions where you can actually show up. And you might be surprised. Sometimes when you model this, it gives other people permission to just name their limits too. And that is so needed. And so I wanted to get into the real examples and scripts when it comes to dating and relationships, because finally, when we are in this space, I think we don't really show up for ourselves as we need to. So I wanted to tell you, and here's the soft life without boundaries looks like: accepting inconsistency because at least he's not mean, or performing chill when you actually have feelings and needs, over functioning for someone who is undercommitting, being emotional, just being emotionally available to someone who has never once asked you how you actually are. Really allowing yourself to think about these things, because understanding that's not patience, that's abandoning yourself in real time. So here is the hard but soft scripts. Let's try with naming what you need early, right? Because I think we just kind of wait and then expect someone to know. Maybe it's something of, I'm not interested in casual or undefined situations. I'm looking for something intentional and consistent. I just want to be clear about that early, right? And it could be in different ways. Or, I'm looking for long-term relationships, or just saying what the boundary is for you within that. But the main thing is, I want you to say it early, before you're attached, before the chemistry is clouding your judgments. You're very clear on what that is. So if they do not do it, you kind of see someone who is willing to do so. Now, number two, the hard but soft script. Number two, responding to hot and cold behavior. Because I've been hearing this in my sessions, and this has been a lot. When you go quiet without communication, I notice it affects how safe I feel. I need consistency to feel secure in a connection. Right? Like, the main thing is the fact that you are naming exactly what that is. You need so you're just observing and see if someone is consistent in that area. So understand you're not attacking them. You're naming your experience and your need in this. And I know it's feel vulnerable, but I think it's one of those of like knowing this is what you need. So number three, when it's not working, because a lot of times we're in some positions where we just don't like the person. So that's not the chemistry that's there, or whatever it is. It could be something like, I care about you and I realize that this isn't what match I actually need. I'm choosing to step back. It could be that. It's gonna be a long speech, no justifying, arguing, defending, explaining what you call jade, just your truth delivered with dignity. And so I want to know if you have done this, if this kind of resonated with you. Which domain needs the most boundaries in your life right now? Is it the work? Is it family or relationships? Because here's what I need you to understand before we just close this episode. Soft life was never just about how your life looks on camera. It's about how your nervous system feels when nobody's watching. And that's the main key, because I'll hear a lot of you guys get really nervous, get really scared of what someone's going to do or worried about them. It's waking up on a Monday and not already being in a panic mode. It's turning your phone over on a Sunday and actually being able to rest. It's being in a conversation with someone with someone you love, and being able to be fully present instead of manually calculating what you still have to do, really just being present in your life. And none of that is available to you without the boundaries that hold it. You can have all the aesthetics. When I tell you, you can have the whole Instagram soft life grid. I'm telling you, you can do this. But if there are no boundaries underneath holding the structure, everything you pour into yourself will keep leaking out through the gaps. So, and this can be just worse when it comes to just from a professional's color in general. And this can apply to anyone, because I had someone ask that question. It's going to apply to anyone, but we're talking professionals color because it's some things that we need to kind of make sure they stand out and be and are seen. Because a lot of times we're just a strong friend in every room. I need you to know it's not selfish to build walls around your softness. It is just that self-respect, that self-care, that you rejuvenating yourself. You deserve softness that's real. So it doesn't have to be something that you feel you get to perform for other people or has to be purchased. Like, it's within you. And that starts with deciding what you're no longer available for. And then actually holding that, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when people push back, even when the guilt shows up, you just showing up for yourself. So here's what I need from you. I would love for you to be able to share this episode with anyone that resonates with. Subscribe right now. We are trying to get to 1,000 before this year is up. And I'm just so excited to be able to continue just to pour into you guys. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know down below of anything that you want to see or talk about. We drop new episodes every week, and I don't want you to miss what is coming. So hit that subscribe button before you close this out. Share this episode with a friend, maybe two, who just want that soft life but feel like they don't have the boundaries to be able to kind of follow through with it. So definitely, if you have any questions as well, you can tag me at I'm Samantha.a. Let's normalize boundaries as the foundation of rest, not the enemy of it. So I'm just so excited that you continue to show up every single week, and I will talk to you soon.